Hello, welcome to Vibrant Numerals. So I'm really excited about all of this rumbling energy and big energy shifts that are happening for Kendrick Lamar, and I'm hoping that we get to witness it. I'm Elizabeth, and I help spiritual practitioners and number enthusiasts apply numerology to their practice and to their everyday life. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. So I've previously done some other videos where we were trying to predict based on Kendrick Lamar's energy and the energy of the time when new music or something big could potentially be happening. And the end of May kept coming up, in particular, May 26th kept coming up for me. And we're here. We are here now. So I'm currently recording this on May 23rd, which is the last LA date for the GNX tour. Um, Super exciting time. And I really hope that we get to witness some of these big energy shifts that's going to be happening this week for Kendrick Lamar. We may not see the residue of it or the manifestation of it till later, but I'm hoping that we get to see some of it in real time, and I think we will. So there's a couple of different themes, like four different themes of energy that are kind of happening, and they're coming together and colliding together, both for Kendrick Lamar specifically, but also there's a lot of these energies that are collective. So we all could jump in and use this energy for manifestation as well. So for Kendrick Lamar specifically, May 26th is a really big energetic day, big energetic shift day for him. And this is where we are seeing that his individual vibrational day is a 63, which is a 9. So it's like asking for these endings to come up. But the endings are coming from bringing together some of these extremes that have been happening, some of these dualistic natures. There's been lots of talk about healing the wounded masculine and bringing in the feminine and being able to balance between these energies. But really, that too is bringing them together to create something new so that you can get to a place of comfort. But that place of comfort in that 6 is also challenging the comfort zones that you have. What are some of the comfort zones that you are in currently that you should not be okay with and that need to shift? And what are the ones that are good for this new life that you're developing and you should be making bigger? This helps get to the 9, the ending that is occurring. Also, in the travels that are happening. So on May 26th, is also the American Music Awards, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. And those are, I believe, in Vegas. And the next show that Kendrick will have will be on the 27th, and that's in Arizona. So, regardless if he's going to the American Music Awards or he's going over to Arizona, when you look at his chart, his astrocartography chart, so his astrology chart on a map, he's moving away. So he has this really cool DC Jupiter line that crosses right over Los Angeles. So that's his like spot to have high prestige. So coming out of that space and building his career in that space has given him this high prestige. But he's moving away from that line and he's getting closer to his DC Neptune line. Not getting all the way there with these travels, but he's moving more towards that. Where this DC Neptune line is, Neptune is a lot about illusion and disillusionment and The DC Neptune line is really about these love swindlers, is the word that kept coming up. So it's like those groups of people that um, proclaim to love you, but really don't. So that's, I think, a warning from the universe from Kendrick, is that he's moving away from those that he can really trust, that have given him this high prestige, into space, more of these spaces where there's more phony people. But he's so tapped in, I'm not worried about him being able to recognize that. But maybe we'll see some of this shifting as well. The biggest thing that is happening on May 26th is there's energy for Kendrick Lamar that is shifting from this energy of karmic endings. So he's been using his energy, um, and mostly that emotional energy, to be able to karmically heal these generational wounds, or these karmic wounding that has been happening and cycling for a very long time. So he's activating a lot of people and healing a lot of people through his work right now. This karmic energy has been around for about 3.5 years, but on May 26th, he's moving out of this karmic ending energy into this fertile ground energy. So it's like he is moving to this space where whatever seeds he's going to be planting in the next 3 years are going to really be his new identity. It's going to establish any of the growth that is to happen for the next 30 years. So this is huge. This is a huge, huge shift. And so we'll have to see if potentially some of those seeds that will be put into this fertile ground will be new music. I'm sure it will be. But if it's on this date or in these next few days, we'll have to wait and see. One of the other things that's happening is there's a lot of Gemini energy. And that's extra interesting for Kendrick Lamar, because he is a Gemini sun sign, and he says it all the time that he's a Gemini, and he lives in this space of duality within himself. And that's also probably why he's thriving very much in the energy right now, because we have a lot of this dualistic energy just happening in the world right now. Everybody's having to face it. But because he's used to this Gemini energy within himself, and he's done so much healing work within himself to reconcile those two sides of himself, he can benefit from this. And so that's the same kind of for all of us, is there's a lot of Gemini energy right now. So it's a lot of speaking out. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So making sure to communicate and speak out. Mercury itself is moving from Taurus into Gemini on the 26th of May. And so we need to be using this energy of communication and amplifying our voices. This energy of Gemini is very strong on the 26th, but then we have more energy of this new moon, which is also more fertile ground. So there's more fertile ground to plant seeds on the 27th of new types of communication or new information that needs to be spread in this Gemini energy. And then also by the 29th, 30th is when we have Mercury that's now in conjunction with the Sun in Gemini. And you'll see that one of the Gemini energies on the 26th is the Sun moving into Gemini. So we're in Gemini season. Now we're getting a lot of these planets have moved. Jupiter, which is a large outer mid-range planet, is moving into Gemini, and that's expanding that energy. So there's so much Gemini energy that right now, whatever is communicated out with the best intentions is going to be huge, and that's for all of us. So this would be a really good time for Kendrick Lamar to be able to release some music and have it be amplified through this energy field. But this is the same for all of us, that this is a really good time to let our voices be heard. You just have to make sure and remember that you are planting these seeds for at least 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years with that new moon. And so you have to have great intention about what seeds you're planting. So another thing that is happening is we have the American Music Awards that are coming up on May 26th. And it's interesting because the American Music Awards, its name adds up to 190. And if you add up the individual vibrational day for Kendrick Lamar, for hip hop, and for the African American nation, or for African American Black, I don't like that word, but that's what they like to call it when I say they, it's like the universe. But they're having their vibrational day for that culture, that community, um, adds up to 190 also. And 190 is, again, it's this interesting play between energies where you have the 9 of the endings. So here we have the endings again, but from that endings comes new energy. So you see, we're going from these karmic endings to fertile ground of new energy. We're having this ending of one way of doing of things and something new coming in. And 190, the 1 and the 9 add up to 10. And Kendrick Lamar is actually nominated for 10 different awards at the American Music Awards on May 26th. So here's this big burst of ending energy that leads to more of this fertile ground, this brand new energy to be able to plant seeds of something new, of what's going to be happening for, and like the legacy that's being left for the next 30 years. And this is where I think we'll be actually able to see some of this, which is pretty exciting, I think. The last thing that is happening, and this is happening for all of us, but Kendrick Lamar and SZA and the GNX tour, and also just hip hop in general, has, especially the battle rappers, they're really tapped in right now to this Chiron and Aries. So Chiron and Aries is a wound in the area of I am. So Aries is like I am energy. And we've been in this energy for quite a while, but we're at the end of it. And we're now at the point where both in the birth chart for the USA and for the birth chart for hip hop, Chiron is in Aries. And so we're at a point now where the wounds of the United States of America and the wounds of hip hop are being exposed. And in that exposure is where we have the greatest opportunities for healing. And so for anybody that is planting seeds of healing, this is huge energy. For any of you rappers, anybody in hip hop, really anybody in the United States of America that is willing to open up those wounds, use this energy to heal. You can do some huge healing of these wounds very quickly. But if you resist it, it could really make it harder to move on to higher goals. And so this Chiron and Aries right now, it's really open up the space for healing opportunities, especially in social interactions. So with back to Kendrick Lamar in particular, with the GNX tour, with traveling, with being around people, especially like at the American Music Awards, activating people, he's able to bring in these opportunities for healing by pulling in those vibrations through his music. And so this is some very powerful, intense energy. That could do a lot of healing spaces. And it's interesting because what sometime we'll have to look closer at the birth chart for the United States with the birth chart of hip hop, because hip hop really was born at a time when the wounds of the United States were exposed, and hip hop has an opportunity of healing those wounds, of exposing them, but also healing them. But we're seeing right now, we're in a time where the wounds of the United States, as well as the wounds of hip hop, are very much exposed. So we all need to take the opportunity to heal them. So I don't want this to go any farther, but it's very exciting. There's lots of five energy, lots of change energy that's coming through. Um, and so we could see, hopefully, we get to witness some of this big energy shifts and activations for Kendrick Lamar and also for ourselves from May 26th through the 30th. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure to leave some comments and questions for me. Let me know what you think. And if you witness any of this energy shift that we could potentially be seeing from Kendrick Lamar, I'm really excited to see what happens. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so that you can get my review video of any of these big energy shifts that I see this week. Bye!